Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 8, entitled Akshara Brahma Yoga, the yoga of imperishable Brahman. Two words are very important: perishable, imperishable. Your dream is perishable. For ordinary illustration, waking seems solid, but real waking is enlightenment. Until you are enlightened, you are in a world that is perishable. Death virus is after you. We are in the verse number 14. Ananyachetaha satatam yo mam smarati nishyashaha tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yoginah. These are very profound statements, poetic, scholarly, essential. Yah ananyacheta nityashah mam smarati. I'm easily attainable by that ever-controlled yogi, O Partha, who remembers me constantly with his mind unflinchingly devoted to me. Translation doesn't bring out all that, but just simple, literal meaning. Yah ananya cheta, he who has directed his mind to God, God who is Ananya. Ananya means there is nobody else. One absolute God. Now, literally, if you take it, there will be a lot of fight. Just worship Brahman, Brahman. Come to gana, get away from this bhakti, so many gods. And even in bhakti, they worship Vishnu, Vishnu, not Shiva, Shiva. Ravana was a devotee of Shiva. I'm joking, but people do fight. Long fights have gone on in India. And even now they go on doing that. But I will not go into that detail. That's a muddy water. Ananya Cheta means your most adorable one, the absolutely adorable, is Brahman, your own very self, Atmanastu Kama. For every reflected sun in jars of water, the most adorable ideal goal for every reflected sun is the sun. That's one point to understand. Second point, this does not mean that you should not worship different aspects of God. Lakshmi for wealth and prosperity and for divine virtues. Saraswati for inspiration. And similarly, all different gods who have different aspects, who grant different wishes. All this will not contradict if you are inwardly that state of a maturity. That same God, if your Ishta Devata is Rama, then it is Rama who enables Lakshmi Devi to shower her blessings on you. Saraswati Devi to shower her inspiration on you. All different gods, not only gods, but all different sources that help you in countless ways. The source behind it is that Ishta, that God whom you have dedicated your whole life. He is the beloved of your soul. And He is one without a second. So, don't feel contradicted if you are led to many types of worship. Rather, all types of worship are perfectly commendable. As long as you know that all this is leading your soul to the goal, which is Brahman. So if that type of maturity has developed, then you are ananya cheta. Each time you are turning to God for worship, your worship is not limited to one aspect of God who will grant a certain desire, and then you say goodbye to Him. I'm joking. People generally do that. Nityasha mam smarati. This is a statement that such a yogi remembers me constantly. This is pointing to Raj Yoga's statement of Abhyasa. Satu dirghakal nairantarya satkar sevito dridha bhumi. Abhyas is being defined. How should you practice sadhana? First point, dirghakal. Do not put a limit. That I will try it out for 4 months and finish. If it doesn't help, I will go into another philosophy. I've already explained, I will not go into detail. The idea is no longer how long it may take, your goal remains unshaken. The only goal you have to attain, that's your reality. Truth alone triumphs. And you can't choose anything other than the truth, no matter how long it takes. And again, dirghakal doesn't mean much at all. That I have given many times, the parable of Narada who comes to a devotee and he says, to one devotee he says, it will take you 5 years. The devotee was practicing great austerity, so eager to have God's darshan. that he have kept fire all around him. And he is shouting the mantra. And seeing Narada, he asks, how long will I have to go on doing all this? And Narada responds to him that it's just 7 days more. He jumps out of it. Impossible, impossible. But then he goes to a devotee who is experiencing great thrill of devotion. He is dancing and singing. And he said, and devotee also asks him. And Narada says that, look at how many leaves are there on this tree. When they all fall down, he will give you that. But all that he hears, that he will give you darshan. You start dancing with bigger song, with great thrill. So that's the point I'm highlighting. Direka. Time should not be viewed with stress. How long I have to. Time is your mental projection. Nairantarya. Your practice should not be one day 90%, next day only 10%, next day only no percent at all. Just like with medicines, you cannot take up all the medicines that are meant to be taken for a whole month. Every day you have to go on taking it. In the same way, sadhana has to be done nairantarya, day by day. And that practice has a cumulative effect. And third point, very important, satkara sevito. Develop that subtle sense of joyousness, just like you are eating food. Every bit of food you eat, you go on cursing somebody. He has not given the right type of salt in it. It's lucky sugar. And yet you are going and eating. That's called asatkar sevito. You are doing the thing, but not with good feeling. Similarly, when you are doing sadhana, allow your mind to be deeply engrossed. How fortunate, how blessed my tongue is able to use the divine name. In spite of all the troubles go on in the world, I have opportunity to turn to God. So that type of subtle, joyous taste that gives a sense of reverence to your own sadhana. So if you have these qualities, then you are going to have the firm attainment. Dira bhumi, your bhumika will be firm. Bhumikas are steps of enlightenment. And for that devotee, tasyaham sulabha. I am easily attainable. Easily attainable. Always to have proper understanding, to attain God realization. 3 great hurdles you have to go through. Mala, all impurities. Vikshepa, countless desires that have gone in so many directions to keep your mind agitated. And desires have different levels, subtle desires, vasanas, and behind those desires, subtle seeds. All these are countless problems in order to attain enlightenment. And lastly is avidya, avarana, veiling, veil of darkness. And if you go through the academic way of studying it, each level, each obstacle requires a lot of things to tackle. It's not an easy job. How to remove your anger, how to remove your pride, how to remove your negative view always, countless impurities. What I'm all leading you to understand, if you have followed the path of integral yoga, and with all the definitions I have given, ananya bhakti, God as the goal, and your mind is constantly involved in worshipping God. Constantly involved worshipping God doesn't mean that your mind is constantly busy only doing Ram, 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 Krishna, Krishna. You go on doing your duties. Just like even in the worldly situation, if you are father, mother, and you are having your young son or daughter being married, how much work you do. You can be described in a way that you are constantly remembering your son or daughter and doing all the work. There is no contradiction. You are constantly loving your project for your dear relative. At the same time, you are busy doing things. Both go together. Your mind becomes involved with God in a very subtle way. So in other words, you don't have to be always aware, am I doing repetition mantra? Did I forget? Slap on my nose. With every breath, I'm not repeating the divine name. I'm highlighting all that so that you can have mature understanding. Constant remembrance comes as love begins to blossom within your heart, love of God. Because that love is constant flow. And if you are developing that, now God takes care of your sadhana. And therefore, for facing challenges, you need shakti, strength. From divine source, that strength comes to you. and you are surprised how you were able to face it. And you emerge out of adversity like the moon emerging out of a dark cloud, shining brighter. That's called Shakti. That type of strength that makes you patient, keeps you persistent, and maintains your internal vigor. In other words, doesn't lead you to despair. That's called Shakti. And as the Shakti advances, you are led on the royal path to liberation. That royal path is bhakti, devotion to God. And once you are on the royal path with the permission of the royalty, no one can stop you. Mukti will come automatic. So therefore, each time I give blessings, I always say Shakti, Bhakti, Mukti. 15th verse. Mamupetyas punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana sansiddhim paramam gata. Having attained me, and thus having reached the highest goal, these great souls are not born again in this world. The world in which is this abode of pain and which is transient. And this again is a profound statement. Mamupetya punarjanama. Having attained me, me term it is the absolute I am, Brahman. What's the result of attaining self-realization? And the result is, you will not fall into the trap of maya, of ignorance. If you fall into it, then you are living through a world that is perishable, subject to mortality virus. The Sanskrit terminologies are ashashvat. Shashvat is ever-present reality, eternal reality, shashvat. Ashashvat, no, it is always a shaky movement. Simple illustration, in a cinema show, screen does not change. Projections go on changing. So mind-based experience, that is what people consider their progress. But no matter how much progressive you are, when you sleep, it moves away from you. You don't care. And you are not upset either. Showing instinctively the fact that in profounder level, all this that you gain through your mind and experience, they do not touch your deeper core. But if your progress is in this world of appearance, which is like a dream, that everything that you do is ashashvat, perishable, transient. And if that is the only thing that's defective about it, it is not so. Dukkhalayam. This world becomes an abode of misery. Misery in the morning. Misery is the breakfast time. Misery is the food time. Misery is the afternoon. Misery is the evening. And you can understand. As time passes, these days you have this is highlighted. In the morning, you are talking about the virus. In the afternoon, you are talking about the virus. Every time you are hearing the glory of your mask. How many times they will recite the japa, a mask? So it becomes dukkhalayam. All the news comes giving you more and more of misery about the world. And further extending the understanding of dukkhalayam, in the state of ignorance, every soul experiences 6 negative modifications called shadvikaras, 6 defects. And what are they? Jayate, janam, getting into the world to be born. You have to be very detached student to study every situation. If you are not detached and you are filled with moha, all that you see, a child is coming, how joyous, how joyous. Cute. No idea of how much suffering has gone on with the mother, with the baby, beyond imagination, countless challenges. Of course, in divine hand, they all move in a smooth way. But tremendous pain and misery is involved in the process of birth for mother, for the baby. And next, the baby gets an identity. A name is given, namkarana. Which name is not permanent. In your previous birth, you had a different name. And your names will go on changing. In the early stage, your parents may give you a certain name, later you may not like it. Could have it changed. So, that's about naming. And with that name, you seem to exist. Next modification, next vikara, vardhate. Now we begin to grow. You were just small child, now you are growing up, getting taller and taller. That's called vriddhi. The next point, viparinamate. The word is viparinam, parinam, result, but a special type of result. A special modification occurs as you begin to grow. From childish stage to become youthful is viparinam. And next, apakshiyate. Now you begin to see how the wrinkles come into your face. Aging process. And a constant dread. How to maintain your good health. And of course, no matter what you do, you end up with death. So these 6 points haunt your mind, and you are subjected to these 6. Birth, having an identity, growing, a special change occurring within your body, aging, and death. What virus is causing all this? That death virus. Mortality. And that should be your target. That within your lifetime, you must correct this, remedy this virus. In other words, within your lifetime, attain enlightenment. And then after death of your physical body, you are not coming back anymore. So 2 types of attainment, 2 aspects. Within lifetime, sthita prajna. You are rooted in the awareness, I am Brahman, in spite of all limitations of this world. And as your life terminates, led by the exhaustion of prarabdha karma, you have not created any new karma. Therefore, good news, you are not coming back into another embodiment forever. Abrahma bhuvana loka punaravartino Arjuna mamubetya tu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. All the worlds up to the highest Brahma loka are subject to the return of the soul. But he who attains me, O son of Kunti, for him there is no more rebirth. The same point is now further extended in this verse. The world is loka. And loka is based on your look. People spend a lot of time in directing their attention, each time says the world, it goes into the whole geographical and astronomical study of the world. How long it took for the creation, how many million, trillion years go on. How there are stars shining, but to human eyes, but they are already gone long ago. But the light is coming to your eyes after a long distance. It has taken its long time. The star is not there, but to you it still is twinkling. So a stretch of time, what I'm leading to understand, is studied by human mind. And in that stage, they study all the yugas, how many years Satya Yuga, how many years Dwapara Yuga. But all this study is kindergarten study. Time experience of time. Time itself has no reality. Mind creates the illusion of experiencing time and space. And you have simple illustration. You will go to bed and right in your small bed is the opening of a big time, a world of your dream. And big space. You have to make big travels in your dream in order to find your objective. So entire time and space emerges in your dream out of your consciousness. And put it more mature way to understand. When your mind is under distress, you are waiting for someone whom you love so much. Through many challenging circumstances, someone is coming through a big trip, and you are waiting, hearing about the plane, where it is, how long. Now your experience of time becomes stretched out. Within 15 minutes, you have gone through endless sufferings. On the other hand, joyous experience. The stretch of time, time flies. So, time and space experience is not reality, it is mental projection based upon vrittis of the mind. And everyone experiences all the lokas every day. When your mind is calm, you are in Satya Yoga. When little rajas has entered, you are coming to Treta Yuga. Little more rajas, along with tamas, you are coming to Dwapara Yuga. Tamas predominating, you are coming to Kali Yuga. Calm mind, you are in Satya Yuga. Calm mind, inspiration, sense of joyousness, you are in Satya Yuga. Come down a little, you are not just calm, but you are also expressing certain type of project in that calmness. But project is Rama's project. It's Treta Yuga. Now you come to another level. A little more rajas has entered. And now you have to put your ducks together in a row. So you have come to Dwapara Yuga. Now you are coming to a state of more torture, involved, more challenge, more fighting needed. And your mind is not quiet at all, angry, stressful. You are in Kali Yuga. All these yugas you experience day by day. And all the lokas. The lokas are predominantly three lokas. Bhurloka, practical reality. The reality that you experience through your mind and senses. Bhuvarloka, your sentimental reality, reality based on your feeling and sentiments. That reality is more profound than the physical reality. And then Swarloka, reality based on your understanding, the way you understand. If you have misunderstanding, your reality is totally different. You may be in a most wonderful circumstances, most best of association may be all around you. But you are deprived of all that. And beyond the three lokas, is your essential nature. Your reality is beyond the three lokas. The intellectual concepts, intellectual understanding, sentimental experience, experience of emotions, and experiences based on practical reality. All these three are shakeable. Therefore, sannyasins renounce these three. Bhuha sannyastam maya, renouncing all practical reality. Bhuvaha sannyastam maya, renouncing this reality experience through sentiments. And swasanyastam maya, renouncing all conceptual understandings. I'm giving advanced meaning. This meaning is not given generally. They always turn your head to the sky. Who was that there? Who was there? Stop. You renounce them all. So, all attainments in this world are in the terms of lokas. And loka should not make you a loco. Turning your head around, where is that loka? Is it? It's Mars. It must be there close by. That's where Krishna lives. Go loka. So if you have that deluded notion of loka, then from that point of view, abrahma bhuvana loka punaravartino Arjuna mamupetya tu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. All the worlds up to the highest Brahma loka are subject to the return of the soul. And in allegorical presentation of gods, even Brahma is not ever the same Brahma. Each day of Brahma is thousands of years in the earth planet. I'm talking in the language of a different time. This is not. The point is that experience of time, space is illusory. And any role that you play in the world of time and space, no matter how great, you are the creator. Even that creator is limited to time and space. You may stretch the imagination about time and space. Then go on stretching. But no matter what you do, it is time, space. So therefore, never find your security in the world of time and space, even if it were the idea that next birth you are going to be Brahma in Brahmaloka. No. Realization of the self. Bhakti of God, love of God. That's all you want. Shakti, Bhakti, Mukti, nothing else. No Brahmaloka. No Indraloka. I'm not a loco. So all attainments in the world of time and space is called alpam, little. The goal of your life is infinite, bhuma. And that points to self-realization. He who attains me, O son of Kunti, for him there is no more rebirth. Goodbye to Punarjanam. No more rebirth. That's the best goodbye you can give. And this point is further elaborated. Time, space. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Arha Arayara Brahmano Viduhu Ratrim Yuga Sahasranam Sahasrantam Teho Ratravido Jana. Those who know that the day of Brahma extends for 1,000 Mahayugas and his night lasts for another 1,000 Mahayugas, they are the true knowers of day and night. The idea is everybody looks for attainment in the world which is defined by day and night. And even if you were to attain a status in the world of Brahma, he also is subject to day and night. Allegorically speaking, the term day and night relate to being conditioned by time, space. Enlightenment, liberation is not confined to day and night, transcends time and space. Subtle meaning behind it. Another point to understand that in spite of the passage of time that mind gives so much importance to, gain that type of realization which transcends time. This is the definition of being savadhan, ever attentive. 724. The entire time world is brought into 7 days and 24 hours. And the story of Parikshit is illustrated the same concept, that he was cursed to die in 7 days. And people become very excited about that. But that applies to every individual. You die one of the 7 days. Even 1,000 years later, whenever you die, it will be either Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Understood well. And with this I will conclude. Om Shri Krishnaya Namah. Om Shri Krishnaya Namah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om. Prayer for shower of divine grace, Karunamaya Ras of God over all, relieve the misery caused by the virus, and bestow the blessings of remedying, removing, preventing, controlling, conquering the death virus, mortality, and be able to say goodbye to rebirth. That's the goal of life. And that's the message radiating from all religions of the world. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukma Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Mritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.